guys, welcome back. If you're new to my channel or simply not yet subscribed, definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button. First off, I am in love with my shirt. I made a bunch, like shameless self-promoing over here. You know, this is, my dream is to make my channel into my career. So, and just kind of explore haunted places and help spirits and find magical creatures for a living. Shirt is like, I don't have a merch site or anything. It says, I only speak ghosts. And it has two cute little ghosts, or one cute little ghost on it. If you guys like this shirt and want me to make more of them for you guys, definitely let me know. Today we're going to be diving into the Dover Demon. I had never heard of this before. I was actually searching Pinterest. Yeah, and I came across a list of creatures. Like a cryptozoology list, but even though the Dover Demon isn't really looked at by cryptozoologists. But it's quite interesting. And it's not that far. I mean, it's like 4 or 5 hours from me, but I might have to take a trip. Let's talk about just 20 miles south of Boston, Massachusetts, lies a small hamlet called Dover. Now, this town, when I was looking into this and looking into Dover, Massachusetts, it definitely gives you a Stranger Things feel. Like, these creatures, these strange creatures, are attracted to this town. This isn't the first strange creature or first phenomenon that Dover has experienced, and probably won't be the last, or probably isn't the last. It definitely gives you the Stranger Things vibe, which I'm so excited. I think the second part is coming, I think, in a few days. I mean, it would have already came out by the time this goes up, but I'm excited. Like, this last season is intense. Anyways, at 10:32 p.m. on April 1st, 1977, three 17-year-old boys were driving north on Farm Street. Their names were Bill Bartlett, Mike Mazzacca, and Andy Brody. Bartlett was the one behind the wheel of the Volkswagen. And as they were driving, Bartlett spotted something creeping along a low wall of loose stones on the left side of the road. At first, he thought it was like a dog or a cat. You know, you see an animal and like you're kind of looking at it, wondering what it might be. And that's like, it's normal for you to be like, oh, is it this? But then he realized it was something much eerier. As his headlights shone on the creature, he realized that it was something that he had never seen before. The figure slowly turned its head and stared into the light. Its two large, round, glassy, lidless eyes shined a bright orange as the light reflected off of them. It had a watermelon-shaped head that rested on top of a thin neck, and the rest of its body was abnormally thin, except for its oversized head. It had long, spindly arms and legs with large hands and feet. It had hairless skin that was peach-colored, almost looked rough in texture. Bartlett described it as being like wet sandpaper. The creature stood no more than 4 feet in height. It had been making its way along the wall, long fingers curling around the rocks when the car came and surprised it. No one else but Bartlett saw the creature. This encounter was so short that by the time that Bartlett went to say something to his friends, and I'm sure he was kind of stunned at first, like trying to figure out what the creature was, but by the time he went to say something to his friends, the creature had already disappeared. Bartlett dropped his friends off and went home to his home on Walpole Street. So he was visibly upset. Like, you could tell something was not right, and his father noticed. So his father asked him what was wrong. So Bartlett told him of the encounter, and later he sketched what he saw. But this wasn't the end of the creature. Another sighting would happen less than 2 hours later around midnight. 15-year-old John Baxter was leaving his girlfriend Kathy Cronin's house at the south end of Miller High Road. He started walking up the street to head home. Half an hour later, after walking about a mile, he saw someone approaching him. Because the figure was short, he thought that it was somebody that lived on the street named M.G. Bouchard. So he called out to him, but he didn't get a response. And that's when he realized that it wasn't him. So he stopped and asked, "Who is that?" And because it was dark and overcast outside, all he saw was a shadowy figure. He tried to get a better look, and so he took a few steps forward, but this must have spooked the creature, because the creature then scurried off to the left and started running down a shallow wooded gully and up the opposite bank. As the figure ran, Baxter heard its footsteps on the dry leaves. He then saw the creature about 30 feet away. Its feet were molded around the top of the rock, so kind of curled, and the rock was several feet from a tree. Baxter said that the creature reminded him of a monkey, except the dark figure had a figure 8 shaped head. Its eyes were looking straight at Baxter. And he started to begin to feel uneasy, like this thing is staring at him. I'd feel uneasy if a human was staring at me, so I get it. So he backed up carefully up the slope, and he started walking pretty fast down the road to the intersection at Farm Street. There was a couple that was passing in a car, and they picked him up and brought him home. And later on that day, so after midnight, so that's already the following day, he went to the police and told them of his encounter. Barlat had also went to the police to talk about his encounter as well. So the next day, so same day, after midnight, that same day, a girl by the name of Abby Brabham reported seeing the creature along Springdale Avenue. She said that the creature had lifted itself up off of the ground and stood partially upright, looking at her. All of the creatures described the creature as having a body similar in size and shape of a human infant. So its body was really tiny, but its legs were longer, its arms were longer, its head was huge. So, but its body itself, its torso, its bum, its body itself was tiny. An incredibly large head had no discernible features minus its large eyes. They couldn't tell if it had a nose, they couldn't tell if it had a mouth, and they couldn't tell if it had ears. Now, many people think that this whole thing is just a coordinated hoax, but there's no indication that any of these witnesses knew what they were saying, each other was saying to the police, that they were close at all. So why would they create this hoax if they were they didn't really know each other? That doesn't make sense. Another popular theory is that it's a small moose calf, because that would account for the kind of gangly appearance and the large eyes. However, there were no wild moose in Massachusetts at the time, and it's also the wrong year for moose calves to exist. And on top of that, moose don't stand on their hind legs, and they don't sit on top of walls. They don't have hands that can grip rocks, so I don't think it was a moose calf. Barlat also says that there is no way that this was an animal known to man, and that it appeared to be more human than animal, and that it reminded him of a child with a distended stomach, but that he didn't see a mouth, or ears, or a nose, only the eyes. Dover demon is a small humanoid that resembles gray aliens, except the skin is more tan instead of gray. It can be bipedal, but it prefers to travel on all fours, but it is common for it to bounce back and forth between walking on 2 legs to going on all fours to 2 legs to 4s. So I think it moves around faster on all 4s, and it allows them to grip things better, like climbing. It wears no clothing, and the other thing that's different about the grays is the grays are often combined with UFO sightings and abductions. The Dover demon is not. Kind of just wanders around on its own. So since the first sighting occurred, there have been other sightings. And when plotted, the locations of these sightings lay in a straight line, and they all happened near a body of water. So is that a coincidence? Maybe it's living in the water. Maybe the water is a portal of some kind. Like, there has to be some reason why it wants to stay by there. So even eerier, back in 1972, so this was only 5 years before the Dover demon was sighted. Mark Sennett saw a creature in the woods. The creature's eyes glowed when he turned his headlights towards it, which isn't uncommon. The creature was small, and it was deep in the woods where he saw it, moving at the edge of a pond, so by a body of water, which is similar to the Dover demon. He had no idea what the creature was. Was it, like, could this have also been the Dover demon? But then how did it go 5 more years without being sighted? Again, though, if these bodies of water, or a particular body of water in Dover, is a portal for it, then it could have went back, and that's why nobody saw it. This case, or this creature, definitely piqued my interest. I love everything weird and creepy and unusual and different. Let me know if you guys have ever seen anything like the Dover demon, or what do you think the Dover demon is? I think it's kind of weird, the name. I mean, the name's catchy, but I don't understand the demon part of it, because it didn't really seem like this creature wanted to hurt anyone. And demons are known to wreak havoc and want to hurt people and all that fun stuff. So I don't get it. Like, I don't get why it was called a demon. Maybe just because it was so unexplained and so strange, but it kind of seems like it was curious, but it almost wanted to be left alone. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'd love it if you hit that like button and you subscribed for me. It would be amazing. And until next time, I love you guys. Bye.